into it. This is huge because we're in a pandemic. I normally do about 4 open enrollments during this time. I only done one, and I just finished up. Today was my last day at 11. So, a lot of companies still aren't letting us in, but to have the CDLP in that rotation, I really encourage you guys to take advantage of that. So corporate can, continue to remember, not that they forget this division, but they remember this division. So you might have some drivers at home that can plug into this. So take advantage of it. And you too can plug into it if you're not busy, so you can hear Alan do his presentation. So if you always wanted to hear that and you want to hear it for free, register. Listen, so you can learn. The more you hear, you can learn. But you have LegalShield and Untitled webinars going on as well. So if you don't have this schedule, guys, I'm gonna try to post it out there for you. And on the Brain Sharp, it has the attachments with the schedule. But the neat thing about it as well, if you do have some groups, they did an email template for you as well. So you can copy and paste the wording, if you wonder what to say. And they have the link. So you can just copy and paste and put it in your email and send it to whoever you need to send it to. But if you missed that, I just wanted to remind you of that. Corporate has really, really taken, corporate really has taken care of us, with this pandemic. And even though in solutions, it's been hard for a lot of our solutions producers and us as solutions associates working in that space to get into the companies to do something like this is huge. And so for us to probably see it again, we probably need to support it, guys. And that's all I'm trying to say. Make sure you support it. If you don't have anybody to get on, you get on and listen at how a group presentation is done so you can learn from there for free. Okay? So that's all I wanted to share. I will try to post it, guys, in the CDLP page so you can download the schedule and you can think about who you have in play to hear that. Okay, maybe you got a authorization form signed in January and you was never able to get into the group. This is a good time to go call into that decision maker and say, hey, we understand we can't get in right now, but we have some webinars going on, and we definitely can invite your staff into these webinars. You got the checkout links, you got the websites and all that to make it easy for them to sign up on your group. So just think about all that and put a plan in place this month and get some people plugged in. So that's all I wanted to share. I didn't want you guys to miss that because it starts on Wednesday, and I want you guys to be ready, prepared tomorrow to go do it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Lamar.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I'm going to get Mr. Randy to kind of help me out a little bit because I know he's got a system that he really works through for account retention. So we spend a lot of time on this call learning about prospecting, what to say, what not to say, who to call on, all of that. But I thought it might be good tonight to just talk about once you sell that membership, how to keep it. Because about, I'm going to say probably 90%, maybe even more than that, maybe 93 to 95% of my groups out there are bank draft. That means they're using their banking information, credit card, debit card. And when a driver calls you and says, hey, I need to, or maybe they go into pre-cancel and they've got a new credit card. How do you update that information back to LegalShield? Well, I know everybody on this call has member services phone number, which is 800. And I'm gonna give you some good stuff here tonight. So get your notepads out. So everybody should already have this number. It's 800-654-7757. Now, many of you have, with the member on the phone, call this 800 number And you got to go through all of those prompts, don't you, Mr. Randy? There's about 4 or 5 prompts you got to go through, and it's a lot of waiting, and so it's kind of discouraging. And when I just give a member the phone number, they end up being mad. They call me back and all frustrated. And so what I had been doing in the past okay, I'm gonna call the member. Okay, are you available? Yes, I am. Okay, I'm gonna hang up. I'm gonna call you back in about 5 minutes. So I call in to member services, get them on the phone, and then I call the member back and do a 3-way. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have learned a new thing. And I have a 24/7 800 phone number that goes directly into LegalShield. You don't have to go through a bunch of prompts to update the payment information. So if you got your pen handy, let me give that to you, because this is exciting to have this number here. So it's 866-966-2222. So it's real easy. I mean, it might be this time of the day. It could be 10 o'clock tonight. If a driver needs to update their payment, and I've got all kinds of phone calls, even on the weekend, on Saturday. You could call in and update that information. Okay? Now, that is our new way that you can streamline, and it's more streamlined to get that information into LegalShield. Now, I'm also told, and I'm going to go over here to a screen share, that you could go over to the payment option form. Mr. Randy, you can see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a payment option form. And I had been using this form before. If it's on a payroll deduct and they're dropping out and I want to retain them, I've been using this form to do their banking information on it. So you can either do the credit card or the bank draft or the banking information down here. So I'm told that you could refill this out and just print that driver's name there, and they would accept it. That's what I was told this past week. So this could be another way. And what you would do once you get this filled out is scan and upload that into LegalShield. Okay, so you're going to need some information here. You're going to need the member's name and the membership number, and you can go into the back office and pull all that information up. So you can either do that over the phone or you can do that on a payment option form. And when our vice president was sharing this information, I said, well, you know, the payment option form requires the member's signature. Well, there were some other people on the phone that said, hey, you don't have to get that signature. You can just update that information, turn it in, and LegalShield will accept it. So I hadn't done one yet, but there you go. That's another way we can update the payment information. So you just fill all that out, and you can do you can either do a direct bill. That's one of the options. Mr. Randy, you can put your little red arrow there if you want to. Right
I
there.
use it all the time, Lamar. It works.
Okay, and then we got the credit card, and then we got the bank draft, which is your banking information. So those are. This is a payment option form, and you will find that. And there you go, Mr. Randy. You will find that in the back office that you can download. And there is the direct bill. There is the credit card. debit card or credit card, and there is the bank. So you can put there, just put Chase Bank there. You don't have to fill out all the address there. You just put the name of the bank, account number and the routing number, checking account, and the amount that you're going to draft monthly right there, $29.95. And if you're going to do the annual, you figure that up, $29.95 times 12, put that in there, print that member's name there and the membership number, scan and send that in. Okay.
356.40.
Say that again, Randy.
359.40.
There you go. 359.40. And so that gets it in there. So the other thing I wanted to share here tonight, we find that we have some members that go into pre-cancel. Okay, so here is a script that LegalShield actually uses, and I personalized it in my name, and I will get this over to, I sent a copy to Mr. Randy, and I will send this over to Robert, and he'll make it available. But this is a script, and once you start to get a few memberships out there that you've written, maybe 1,000 memberships, maybe 2,000 memberships, maybe 3,000 memberships, you're going to have a bunch of these members that go into pre-cancel. And so here's a script that you can use. And as you can see up here, Mr. Randy, can you come up to the bank draft? So if they're using their bank, the next one up, there you go. This is the bank draft. All right, the next one down is credit card, debit card. But let's focus on the bank draft. So this is a little script that you could use when you call that member and try to get them out of pre-cancel and get their new information. And so you can say hello and then put the member's name in there, whatever that is, Randy Hooker. This is Lamar Reynolds, your LegalShield rep. I wanted to give you a call because I noticed that we currently have placed a hold on your benefits. Now, when they go into pre-cancel, the benefits, there's a hold on the benefits. So you got to get them out of that pre-cancel. You have a 30-day window to get that done. I know that you decided to join LegalShield or / ID Shield. So if you're using the legal plan or the CDLP, you decided to use LegalShield to protect you and your family, if that is correct situation, that you have seen the valuable benefits. So I wanted to give you a call and make sure you don't lose those benefits. If you have time now, I would be happy to call into our home office with you to help keep these valuable benefits. Now, once you've done that, I gave you a new 800 number, that 866-966-2222. And you're not going to get frustrated, and the member's not going to get all frustrated of going through all the holes and all the prompts to get there to speak to somebody. And sometimes you get over there to member services and they put you on a long hold before they actually pick up. So this is a more direct. So there is a script for you to keep that bank member. So the next one down, Mr. Randy, is going to be the credit card, debit card. And this one here is tailored just a little bit different. Hello, Mr. Randy Hooker. This is Lamar Reynolds, your LegalShield rep. How are you doing today? ? I wanted to give you a call because I noticed we currently have placed a hold on your benefits. I know that this happened to me when I get a new credit or debit card, credit card. So if you have recently received a new one, that may be the reason we have a hold on your benefits. So then I could be happy to call into our home office with you and help you keep those valuable benefits. So this is the actual script that LegalShield uses. I'm just now getting my hands on this rascal. So, but this is what they actually use in the corporate office. So we got a copy of this. This is going to be in the Word form. So once you download this, you can just go over here and take my name off of it and put your name in there, and you now have a script. Okay. So, all right. So let's say overcoming the objections. Let's say there's a little bit more to the situation. Let's say there's a financial deal going on, and it's not a simple, I got a new credit card or I got a new debit card. I just don't have the money. Okay, so what are you going to do? Well, if you're wanting to cancel due to financial, we need to hit the member perks. Now that's to you. So we can do this by giving a specific example, such as, I completely understand, especially with the holidays quickly approaching, that you save where you can. However, I want you to know that LegalShield is here to protect you, but we are also here to help you. How we can help you with right now is by utilizing the member perk site. So this is what we're shifting over to show them how to take advantage of the member perks and offset the cost of their membership. Have you had an opportunity to log in and see some of these great discounts? Yes. Great. Have you taken advantage of any of them? A lot of people's logged in, but I've had drivers that not take advantage of them. And I just had a member this past week that I used this, and when I finished, this person, it was a lady, she says, "Thank you so much, Mr. Reynolds, for taking time to tell me about this." If so, use that discount to show that they have saved just by being a member. Then come over the top with, remember, one of your valuable benefits is to have your will and living will prepared at no additional cost. Have you taken advantage of that this year? So we've talked about the member perks and the will. And I tell, and I don't know, Randy may use a different number, but I tell them, you know, this will is worth about $750. And so I guess, you know, we could double that if the wife does a will and the member does a will, the husband and the wife both do a separate will, then there you go. I mean, that's a lot of money saved right there.
Most of
Randy.
most of the members that most of the lawyers that I've talked to or worked with, Lamar, it's about $1,200 to $1,500 for a couple.
Well, I was doing a presentation at a company the other day, and the driver, I always ask the question, how many of you folks have a will? And usually most truck drivers, I mean, I've had 25 or 50 drivers in a room, and there's only one or two hands that go up, you know. This was a small group. I think there's like 6 new drivers in this, a new driver orientation class. And one guy raised his hand. He said, "Hey, I've got a will, and I had it updated this year." And I said, "Well, could I ask you how much it cost you to update your will?" He said, "Well, it cost almost $400 to get that updated." I said, "Man, if you'd been in my will opportunity, you could update your will once a year free of charge." And so he ended up signing up for the legal plan to do his will. So, all right. So have you taken advantage of that this year? If they say no, that is no problem. I just wanted to share a few of everyday items that you could be saving on. And now they use this when they call a member such as $2 off of Tide laundry detergent, $2 off of Charmin, $1 off of various different cereals, $1 off of toothpaste. So they're going through all of these different savings and the LegalShield perks. And if they have kids using the diapers, $3 off of the Love diapers. Just with those, for example, you're saving $6, which is already 1/3 of your monthly membership. And that may be true if they pay in like $18.95 for that membership for a legal plan. So once you start using this on a regular basis, you will notice that it actually costs more to not have LegalShield than it does to have us. With that being said, do you have a few minutes for us to call into the home office and update your payment information? So in this particular situation, they covered the will and the member perks, kindly sell them on using those benefits. And then now we're ready to call in and get the new credit card information. Okay. So Randy, I know a lot of people out there have these programs that they plug in the pre-canceled members in. And I'll just mention this. The call I was on, actually, there was some suggestions made for LegalShield to do an upgrade on the prospect funnel and put a feature in there for a pre-cancel. Now, wouldn't that be slick? And anytime we have a pre-cancel member, you could just drop them into this funnel and it will automatically start shooting out these emails to them in a way for retention to take place. So that was a thought of one of the people that was on the phone call with us this past week. But anyway, I just wanted to share these scripts for you for the bank draft and the credit card. And Mr. Randy, would you like to just kind of talk a couple of minutes about the way you go about calling a member and maybe getting that pre-cancel updated and getting their membership back online? Because sometimes it's just that simple, getting a new credit card on file.
We do that. I use, I've done called with not this script, but basically the same type of wording and whatever. I use two things. I use member perks, and of course we use member perks in closing our memberships for sure. One of the things, if you, one of my questions would be, how many of the associates here online have used member perks? If you haven't, you need to. I just bought a Levino computer and saved over $400. Now, what did I say our membership was for a commercial driver? $359.40 a year. So my $400 savings on my computer just paid for a year of my membership, plus anything else I would use member perks for the rest of the year. And I've got all of my citations taken care of, all of the protection from tragic accident, and I've still saved more than what my membership cost me. So therefore, that's one of the things that I use to do that. On pre-cancel, I do use a program, and I use that program, and it's been very successful for me. It saved for last month, and it sends out 6 different emails over the period of 18 months, 6 or 7. And so therefore, it's an ongoing program. Most of the time, they will contact me after the second or third email, and they have taken care of it. And then, of course, I go in and I kill the rest of the emails going to them so that it doesn't continue to send or what have you. But that's one of the things that I do. Plus, almost every member that I do sell, I put in the retention program. We do have a retention program, member retention program in Prospect. It's already there. And I usually put most all of the memberships in the in the retention program in prospect, in the regular prospect now that's there. And but on pre-cancels, we do that. And then if they don't have an email, if I don't have an email listed, we do call and basically use this script. Like I say, I haven't had the script, but basically the same type of wording to get them to try to work to get them rescheduled into the program.
Okay. So you've heard from me and you've heard from Randy, and maybe Sherranda would like to just tell everybody the way she goes through account retention, because, you know, once you sign up a member, you want to keep them. A bird in hand is better than two in the bush. So we want to keep that membership current. So Ms. Sherranda, you got any thoughts on account retention?
Well, I just put in I put in Responder Works. That's program they can pay for. Yeah, it's $19.95. It's no free trial. So you ain't gonna get that when you go there. So don't look for it. It's $19.95 off the bat, and you can use
What's
that.
The name of it again? What's the name of it?
Responder Works.
Responder. Okay.
And so and I've been using Responder Works ever since I've been in the business. But one of the things we had a question. Member perks comes with every plan we have, guys. Whether CDLP, ID Shield, legal plan, business plan, it comes with every plan we sell. Our members have access to member perks. So it could be an individual ID Shield plan. They still get member perks. So with the drivers, that's it. It's in chat. I put it in chat. So yeah. So with the drivers, a lot of times, you know, I just used to think about things that the drivers could use perks for, you know. And the women might say, I go to Advanced Auto Parts too, but I know a lot of guys go to Advanced Auto Parts, right? So, you know, the truckers, you know, even though they might not be getting parts for that truck, but they may go there for some parts. I know a lot of them like O'Reilly and some of your other ones, but Advanced Auto Parts is a good one. And so when I'm talking to them to sell the plan, I'm talking about those perks that they can use. So if I'm talking to a driver that works for a real small company, maybe that don't have benefits, I talk about some of the benefits that are in there. That's in member perks. But, you know, if I see them in pre-cancel and they say, well, you know, I just hadn't used it. You know, we don't hardly ever see that with our CDLP. It's normally a credit card issue, or they're on payroll and they're leaving the company or something. Or they had what they consider a bad experience and they just didn't understand the program right. But you know, if you talk about perks, that's a good thing to talk about. How they can use it. We have some benefits in there that gives them access to you know, see the eye doctors, see some of the doctors. You got auto insurance. You got all types of insurance in there that they might not have otherwise. I got to do, like I say, Advanced Auto Parts is my go-to. I also talk about the employee benefits. I mean, the employee pricing for cars and trucks, you know, because just like they got that big truck, they like their other toys, you know, and so I talk about that. But, you know, like I said, for my other pre-cancels, though, you know, I always try to talk about the perks and the wheels and things like that. If they have a combo, I will talk about the wheel, just the high, the industry that they're in. You know, you want to make sure your wife is taken care of. So, you know, let's try to get this taken care of, you know, and so you can see the value of it and things like that. So, but I use Responder Works. I use Responder Works because sometimes when you get busy, you just can't, you know, you can't service those clients as quick as you should. So at least they're getting something from you. So they won't say that they haven't heard from you or anything like that. So I love Responder Works. So
Sherranda, how do you go about enrolling in that? You just Google Responder Works?
Responder Works, yeah. So Responder Works is for all your network marketing companies. Like when you go there and create your account, you're gonna have to choose LegalShield. You're gonna have all these companies, and I take it they're network marketing companies. When you agree, Randy, I hadn't took a look at it, but it's a list of just companies, and you're gonna have to choose LegalShield. And so when you choose LegalShield, all your and then you put in your links. So if you put in your website link, it's gonna have that. It's very personalized. And so when you choose LegalShield, it's already the emails are already pre-written because you've chose LegalShield. So
They're
they've
written from
already
our
pre-written
company's
those
point of view.
emails.
Yeah, they're written from our company's point of view.
Yeah,
In other
from
words,
our
they're
company.
from LegalShield. Yeah.
And do you have one for the CDLP membership?
No, they don't have CDL. They have pre-cancel. They have pre-cancel in there. They have campaigns for like pre-cancel. They have campaigns for a new member, so a new group member, right?
Okay.
It might be a new person. They might not be group. So say we went to a group and you wanted to put them in a campaign. So you got to think this was before Prospect. I've been using this before Prospect. They had that other one, great works plan or whatever, but but they don't have a campaign for CDLP. They have one for small biz, they have one for ID Shield, they have one for pre-cancel. They even have one for recruits. Like if you met Joe at the store and he said he was interested in being a recruit, you could put him in a campaign just like our Prospect. But the only thing about Responder Works is they don't have to opt in. They're going to get the email regardless. They don't ever have to opt in. The email is going to their inbox. So the pre-cancel is good. I love it because of the pre-cancel one.
Okay, so pre-cancel, I just want to be clear. Pre-cancel can be used on the legal plan and also on the CDLP.
Yes, sir.
It just tell them that they're in pre-cancel. They might talk more on the legal side, but it'll tell them their membership is in pre-cancel. So
Okay.
the individual know what type of plan they have with you. So yeah. So
whenever you go into Responder Works and you are join up and you set up for LegalShield, you can go in and actually pull up each one of the emails that's going to be sent and read them.
Yeah.
And you can see what's going to be sent. And so therefore, exactly how it's worded. And of course, you have to put your name in because it fills your name and your phone number and all of the stuff. It autofill. So whenever you go in to send a pre-cancel, you put their name, first name, last name, email address, phone number, and their time, whether they're the state and then Central, Eastern, Mountain, Pacific, or whatever their time frame. And then whenever you put that in there and you hit send, that's when those emails are going to come in during that time frame or your time zone. And so therefore you're not sending an email from Central time zone to the Eastern time zone at a different time frame. So.
Hey, Sherranda, we got about 10 or 15 minutes left. Why don't you see if we got any questions? I saw, I think that was Richard that was wanting to be unmuted. He was trying to ask a question, I assume. Do you have any questions there on the board? On the chat?
I'm looking. So I guess Randy talked to this person about they trying to get activity in a group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Randy answered her privately, so he can,
Okay.
Now, if y'all want to address that question still generally, just so anybody else that's in that circumstance would have.
But that's what I think. You talk about she can't get in, or she's doing presentations and they're not responding. What you think it is?
I don't know if she's having trouble getting in, or if it's a conservation group. There's a lot of the time it's one of the things that I have found is whenever you call a conservation group, the first thing I do is I always tell them, I'm sorry for what may have gone on in the past. I'm here to basically, I even call it the white glove treatment. The company has asked me to come in and give you the white glove treatment. We're going to find out. First thing I want to know is, what could we have done better? How could we have serviced your group better? Because once you find out what you could have done better, then you know where you need to go. And so there's several different pointers that you can do that will really make a big difference in getting that group back online once you talk to them and find out what you could have done better. And then if you say you're going to call or you're going to do something, you make sure you do it, because evidently there's been a mistrust with the associate or something that was servicing that group is the reason that it fell the way it did. And it ended up in conservation to begin with. Would you agree, Robert?
You muted, Robert.
Yeah, I would. I would definitely say going in there, and that's kind of the same language I use. I haven't used the white glove. I like that. Normally, when I'm calling on a conservation group, where I go in, I'll normally say, "Hey, look, I'm Robert Dunbar with LegalShield. I'm stopping by here because the associate who was working the account, either they moved or they're no longer with the company, and they bring me in to make sure that we can solidify everything and make sure everything is good. Make sure you got what you need. Find out when your next enrollment is, find out whether there's any concerns you're having, update your information." And I generally let them know that. And then they're like, okay, so now they know it's a fresh person. So a lot of times if there was an issue, sometimes they'll say, okay, I got a new person. They won't necessarily say that they had an issue necessarily, but they see that it's a fresh person and they'll start having that conversation with that person. So that's a lot of times that works for me with conservation groups of all types, not even just CDL. It doesn't matter what kind of conservation group it is. Normally, they will look to that. I've used different things as well. So sometimes I'll call, let's say Sherranda is the person that's on the sheet. Because sometimes you call in conservation groups, just so you guys know, and we don't want to go too deep into this on this particular call because not enough time left. But sometimes you'll call a group where somebody opened the group because they knew somebody that knew somebody that knew somebody, and that person that knew somebody is no longer there. The person who allowed them to open up the group, they're no longer there. So the group is kind of floating there. Nobody's getting the membership. Nobody really officially is even promoting it because it was set up by somebody on bank draft and that person is no longer there. So sometimes you get stuck in a situation like that, which will cause you to be in a situation where that person is like, well, we don't even know what LegalShield is. I've had conservation groups literally tell me that they don't even know that they didn't even know that they have LegalShield. So what I do is, again, I come in and I try to just kind of finesse my way in. So I'll say, hey, Miss Ivey, I'm actually looking for Jerome. And they'll say, oh, Jerome is no longer here. I'll say, oh, okay, well, one of our other associates was working with Jerome and now I'm actually here. That associate is no longer with the company or no longer working in this area. And I'm coming in to make sure everybody has all the information that they need on LegalShield. Can I drop some packages off and kind of either do a real workshop or come into your enrollment and speak to your new hires or whatever the case may be. And then that person may say, well, LegalShield, I'm not familiar with it. And I'll say, now again, I've got the roster guys that LegalShield gives you of the people who already have it. So now I'm going to name drop. So I'll say, oh, you haven't heard LegalShield? Well, sometimes people overlook the benefit because they may have not used it. I know that Lamar Reynolds has had it for about 1.5 years herself, and Sherranda Holiday, she has the membership. Randy has the membership. So people definitely are using it, and it's very important to use it. Now I'm kind of throwing a short presentation on this person without really getting the okay to present to them. Does that make sense? So those are different tactics that I'll use to kind of get in and smooth it over when I'm coming in to do that conservation group, because we don't know what happened. And sometimes somebody may have ticked somebody off and you don't want to come in there and just legal shield them. You want to come in there kind of like, and I really love that what Raymond Hooker said, the white glove treatment, man, that's great. I really love that language. I'm gonna start using that myself. But that white glove, because you don't know what happened. And when you walk into a situation, you have no idea what happened. You have to be careful on what you say and be as kind and be ready to listen to whatever the concern may have been, because it may be a concern that other associate just didn't listen to. So you may just get ready to listen, and then just know that you may have to be on the forgiving and apologetic end of the deal when you go in there to do that. And if you're prepared to do that, then you will win. You can certainly win that account over if you do it that way. So hopefully it's helpful. Oh yeah, real quickly before I turn it back over to somebody, for those that aren't scripted, I'm not a scripted person at all. And what I found is a quick, easy way, because if you're a scripted person, the script that Lamar Reynolds put up there with the overcoming the objections and all that kind of stuff, that will really work for you. If you're saying, hey, look, I'm scared to call these pre-cancels. I don't want to call them. They're piling up on me. My retention is getting bad, and I don't know what to say to these people. Like, scripted people need those kind of scripts. If you're an unscripted person with me, I kind of would just call people and say what's on my mind. That's just how I am. So generally speaking, guys, when I call, I normally just, if you make a person understand that you know what's going on, they just assume you know what's going on. So sometimes I will literally call and be like, hey, Mr. Hooker, this is Robert Dunbar. I'm just giving you a call to update your credit card information. I got a message from my system letting me know that your information needs to be updated. What that tells them is, even if their credit card failed because they didn't have the money in their account, I don't know that. I think they just need to update their credit card, which gives them a way to kind of give me new information without being embarrassed, if that's okay. And what you don't want to do is put them on the spot like you think that their credit card didn't go through, because that makes people uncomfortable, right? So, and it just goes back to the joke, if you guys are familiar with Kevin Hart, my bank account is not set up, right? And you don't want to embarrass a person and making them think that, hey, look, my credit card didn't go through. So simply, sometimes you can just call and say, hey, Sherranda, or hey, Raymond, or hey, Lamar, hey, I'm just giving you a call real quickly because I got a message from my system letting me know that your card needs to be updated, and I don't want you to lose the value of your benefits. Something that I'll say to somebody that's had the membership for more than a year. I'll say, hey, look, remember, every year you get an extra 60 hours of trial time if they have the family plan, right? And if for any reason your membership drops and you have to start your membership over, you're starting back at 60. So I wanted to make sure we got your credit card updated so that you can continue to build on your trial hours on your family plan. So that's something that I'll use when they have the family plan as well. So if you just say that real quickly to them, guys, it's a lot more comfortable to do that. And that's a quick call that you can just make to a couple people. So, don't overwhelm yourself. If you write a lot of business, sometimes I'll get an email on a Wednesday and I'll have 13, 14 people in my pre-cancel. Sometimes I'm losing an entire group or whatever, for whatever the case may be. And sometimes, so I'm not overwhelmed, I will call them just maybe 3 or 4 at a time a day. Some people do a pre-cancel day, and they just will spend their day making those calls all day, and they'll just lock that in as a day or a couple of hours. I normally would just do a couple of calls. So if I've got 6 or 7, I may say I'll do 3 today and 3 tomorrow, so I'm not making them depressed calls, right? And I'll just do it that quick. Yeah, I'm just giving you a call real quickly, and believe me, more than half the time, I would tell you, I don't even get an answer when I dial. I get a voicemail or whatever. And if it's a cell phone number, I'll text them. I'll say, hey, give me a call when you get a chance. I wanted to make sure we get your bank account information updated so we can make sure you keep your benefits. And when you say updated, again, that makes them believe that you think that their credit card is just out of date, not that it declined because they didn't have money in their account. So just something to keep in mind. You don't want people to feel that way. So I'll turn it back over to any of the other trainers.
So Robert, one of the things that I do there is whenever I call them, I'll say, by the way, the company has notified me that your membership is in pre-cancel. Now that may be due to just a credit card being out of date or something. They didn't tell me why, but they do need to update some information from you. It could be just a change of address or something, but we do need to update that information. If you would give me a call back, or like you say, text them, or if I get a hold of them, that's still the same language I use. Once again, you don't want to make them feel that you're after them because their money didn't clear, or it was caused by their credit card not having the right amount on it or something.
Hey, Randy, go ahead and explain what the conservation group is, because we just talking about this, and I guess people are putting in the chat, they don't even know what the conservation group is. We apologize for that, guys.
Conservation group, guys, is whenever most of the time they are given to director level and above. Whenever you reach a director level and above, you'll get a conservation group, which is a group that the company has, for some reason, taken back over, and the associate has released it, that opened it, or like Robert said, they left the company and are no longer with the company. And so therefore that group needs to be serviced. And at the director level and above normally is where they do that. Plus you have to be group certified or employee benefit certified. And you have usually have had to open at least 3 or 4 groups. Am I right, Sherranda? It's normally about where the conservation groups are given out.
Yeah.
That's what
3,
I thought.
4, got 250 on the books. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, Dunbar was just talking. TJ kind of knew, so she got it though. she got it. She like, conservation group, what's that? But yeah. We have one question. I want to answer this one question. The accountability call people had some questions the other night, because I was sharing with them that, we, on Mondays we try to, we transparent here. Dunbar reaches out to us, and we're trying to bring good content to the platform. And so he's trying to figure out, what's the good content that's going on like right now that we should talk about. But so I told the mastermind group about the accountability call, about, that's what we're always trying to do. And so it was one question that I'm gonna ask this one question. They had a couple of questions, but we don't have time for a couple of questions. But this will ease their mind because we pulled up safer the other night. And so Lamar, the question was with the good report, with the good inspections, you get the 3. So they want to know, does that 3 count against them? I think the question was, it the CSA points out, and I didn't think it went into like the out of service, but that 3 that you get for a new inspection, does that go anywhere? Does that calculate anywhere, or it's just a good number? I know it's good because it's a good inspection, but that 3 that's generated with a good inspection.
Are you talking about a level 1, level 2, level 3? Is that what you're talking about?
Just any good inspection. It's the weight, right, guys? The weight, Jody. Like on a good inspection.
Oh, the severity weight?
The severity weight, over to the side. On a good inspection, okay, you get it's 3. It says 3.
Right.
So that question was, where does that 3 generate into the numbers? Does it generate into the numbers to no, right?
No, it is, the 3 is that inspection was done within the last 6 months. The 2s are 6 months and older to the 1 year, and the 1s are the first year. In other words, an inspection on the company holds 3.
That's not what I'm asking.
Holds 3.
That's not what I'm asking.
The severity weight? Okay.
That's not what I'm asking. We know about that. Just think about the safer report when they get a good inspection. It says 3.
Okay.
You see it on the safety report?
Yeah, I'm trying to get over there to pull up a okay. We need to go to a
because Pat had a question. Pat thought the inspections went, she was reading the safety report wrong. But when she saw it, this company, they had about 6 good inspections. But, it has 3 to the side of it. So they wanted to know, was that number generated anywhere? Randy, I know you're talking about, 6 months, a year, and then the second year. Is that all that means? Is that all that number 3 means on that good inspection?
On your even on an inspection that there wasn't an out of service or a citation issued, possibly there still could be a severity weight. And if it's a severity weight of 1, 2, 3, 5, whatever, that's still the CSA points that go against that. Now
It's
the time
always
weight,
3.
the time weight is a year.
Okay, it's
If I-
always 3. That number is always 3. Maybe we'll talk about this next week because we'll pull it up. Maybe we can do that next week, Dunbar.
Yeah, and what we can do so that we can see it, so that if anybody, any of the trainers, can pull a good inspection report where that.
Well, we got the. So guys, just pull up. The number was 146,0059. Just write that down, and we'll talk about it next week.
Give me that to me again. 146. What was the other part?
146,0059.
Okay.
Again, Lamar, just share your screen.
Okay. Let me get this pulled up. Okay. All right.
It seems like I remember too, Lamar.
There it is, Lamar.
Either in our training that we did.
Go to the second page, Randy's SMS, huh?
You mentioned something about even when a company has gets a good inspection, they still take a hit somehow. I sound like I remember you saying that. I don't remember.
Those 3 points. That 3. Okay, look at 825. What's that one? 825. That's a good inspection, and that 3 over there. 825. That 3.
That there is the time weight. That's the date, the year. This is the year. This is the CSA severity weight. The severity weight is CSA. The
that's
time
the
weight.
first year. Yeah, that 3 stands for the first year. Yep.
Just the first year. So that's no points. That's no CSA because it's a good
correct.
inspection.
It's a good inspection. Now,
Right.
what we're doing, we're looking at the company profile. So this would be that 3 stands for the first 6 months.
Okay.
So
And
for the
here's
first
the
6
second
months,
6 months.
there's no severity weight. So it's 0. 0 times
Okay.
3 is 0. So
Okay, so that's what that's what the question was, and I just couldn't explain. I just know it was a good inspection. And that 3 was, I wasn't thinking about the first 6 months, you know what I'm saying?
Now,
So now they know. So
now look at this. Look at this first one here. So you got a severity weight of 4. So 4 times 3 is 12. So let's come down here to a clean inspection. Okay.
that was 825, right? Yeah, right there.
No, let's come on down, Randy. Let's come on down in the safer. Down here to 325. No, that's a violation too.
No, up here 825. Those are clean up there, right? 825, 823, 820.
Yeah. Okay. Now, all right. So 615 up there. Let's 615.
Go down, Randy.
Come on down.
Down here. That's not,
come down to
that's good too.
615. Come down to 615.
Mm-hmm.
That's 615 right there.
Okay, now come across. That's a clean inspection. You'll see a 3 there.
Yeah.
But there's no severity related to that. That's a clean inspection. So it's nothing times 3.
Okay.
0 times 3 is 0. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So I wasn't thinking about the 3-6. Yeah, the 3-6 in the year. I wasn't thinking about that. I just knew it was a good report. I just didn't know it was a good report, and I just couldn't. I don't know, was it because it was 11:30 or 10:30 at night? But that's how they we wanted to sleep on that, so that's good.
So
we got some other questions. I'll send them to you guys if y'all want me to. So you can talk about it next week if you want to.
Okay.
How about that? Is that okay, trainers?
Yep.
Yeah. If you want to send those questions over, and I mean, what kind of questions are they particularly like based on the ones that you did, the one you just asked your Sherranda?
Yeah, so that one was the one on safer. We talked about, objections, of course. Jody runs into a lot of, they have the liability with the insurance, and so she kind of gets stuck there. And then she asked today about what was it, Jody? what we talked about today in group me. What was the question in group me? Oh, about the vehicle maintenance. You know, she wasn't sure how. They asked her how could we help with that. So the answer was we don't go back, but we do cover vehicle, violations. We cover some of those, So so my deal was, we cover those. I showed her on the flat sheet on the flyer that, that's one of the things we cover, So she didn't remember that. So it was like rebuttals, like objections, the safety report when it came to the good inspection, Pat was reading it she was kind of reading it backwards. She thought what was above was the number below, the inspection below. So but they had a couple of them, but we were getting ready to get out the phone. So what we'll do is we'll generate some more. I'll send them over to Lamar and Randy and you, and then we can have conversation.
I'll just say this and then we'll drop the subject, but I did a decision maker call for an associate this past week, and the decision maker was there and a new driver happened to be sitting there. And so I went through all the score, CSA thing, pulled up the information. And so I just turned to the decision maker and I said, have you noticed your insurance rates going up this past year? And the decision maker turns to the driver and he says, do you hear what Mr. Reynolds just asked me? He says, right now, last year, I was paying about $17,000 a truck rig for insurance. And today it's $72,000. He said it went up that much. He said it's almost drove us out of business. The insurance has gone up that much. And I said, when he said that, I said, oh man. I said, it all tracks back to these roadside inspections. That's what we got to start adjudicating these and getting these points off of your driver and off of your safety scores as a company. But it went up that much, Mr. Robert, from $17,000 to $72,000 per rig.
Not per month, per rig, per month.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, and they don't and it's so sad they don't understand. That's what I'm saying. They just don't understand.
And that reminds me too. We've got an audio too, Bob, and thank you, Bob Frazier. I know you're going to hear somewhere. Bob Frazier out of South Florida. We did a decision maker over the phone or on a Zoom, and we're going to be playing that audio on this call, where we had the decision maker on the Zoom, and they wanted to know what we could do to help, and we did it. And Bob Frazier. For those who know him, he's very coachable. I think he gets on the accountability call as well. But Bob Frazier is very coachable. And I'm telling you, man, he excellent lead-in. And when he thought that I forgot something, instead of him being like rude, you know how you do a three-way with somebody or a Zoom with somebody and they just jump in and just kind of interject, kind of really taking away the whole idea of you even being an expert. He did it it was the way he did it was so smooth. So we're gonna play it here on the line, not this week, obviously, so that you guys can hear a live decision maker Zoom, and you'll just hear the audio on that, and just so you can hear one being done, and just understand what gets said and how companies respond to the information, and hopefully that help you guys get over that hurdle. Because this is a situation where we couldn't go in, obviously. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. He's in West Palm. And I can't even remember where the company was at this point. But we were all on the Zoom and doing it. But, we just got a recording of the audio. So we'll play that. And when Sherranda, you shoot us those questions, and we'll start next week's call off by making sure we get the answers to all those questions that you have.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. Bob is the first one. Bob is the first one on the accountability call. He is. He's good because he's prospecting all over the United States.
Oh yeah. And if you don't know Bob's Bob's status on that, Bob says if he don't get there early, he not showing up. If he can't get this appointment 10 minutes early, he calls him and sets it for another date. So I already know.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. So I will because they have some questions. I think it'll be good. Clarence had a question today about low hang. It's those little words that Lamar, those nuggets that Lamar dropped. They just like to clarify when he says those nuggets, because Clarence was like, what does he mean when he says low hanging fruit? I mean, like, what is that? Like, what is a low hanging fruit? He just, but that's a nugget, but I told him, it's those when the numbers are high and the inspections are there and he sees them. That's your low. Go ahead, Randy.
Robert, there's AJ has a question or put a question into the chat that I think we really need to address, and then I'll shut up. He was talking about New Mexico. And in New Mexico, there are 2 citations that are given, guys, and it says so even in the State Highway Department's website, they give 2 citations. The one that they will bring to the truck 90% of the time is an admission of guilt if you sign it any place. Whether you sign it in the box or sign the ticket, it's an admission of guilt. If you do that, there is nothing we can do. And what the truck driver has to learn, what you have to educate your driver, is they have to ask for one with a court date. And they will go back and reprint a citation with a court date on it. He can sign that one, then we can fight it because we have the court date. And that's the biggest thing, is educate the drivers in New Mexico. Anybody that drives in New Mexico, ask, and that's for personal too. If you go out there and drive through New Mexico, if they give you a citation, you make sure you ask for one with a court date if they're going to give you a citation. Because if you don't have the court date on that ticket, you cannot fight it. But if they ask for that court date, they have to print one with a court date for you. We learned that from the website. Back to you, Robert.
All right, fantastic. So any of our trainers have any last words before we close out? You guys good?
Good.
I'm looking at heads saying no. All right, good stuff. All right. So we appreciate you guys all for jumping on. For those that's listening to the recording, on the bottom right-hand side of the screen, you can click the subscribe button. You can also click the notification bell, and they'll let you know when these videos drop. When the live starts, you'll be able to get on. You'll get a notification via email. Also, you'll see the last 2 weeks of videos popping up as I'm talking on the screen, and you can click on either one of those to look at the last week's call or the week before that, or I should say Zoom. And also, if you go to my YouTube page, these videos are categorized. So if you scroll down when you get to my YouTube channel, you will see LegalShield, CDLP, weekly Zoom, and they'll all be in order. You can just click them and watch them one at a time, however you choose to. So I thank all the trainers for being on to give of your time this evening. All the participants for jumping on and giving us your time and your energy as well. We look forward to seeing you guys all on next week. So get your questions to Sherranda so she can give them to us. How about that? So we look forward to hearing from you guys. Everybody have a fantastic evening.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good
night.
See you
Good night,
next week.
everybody.
Night.
Be back.
Bye.
Yes,
See you
sir.
later. Ted. You
Thanks.
too, Bob.
Night, y'all.
All right, Sherranda, thank you.
You're welcome.